They laughed at your quiet moves. Now they're panicking at your loud results. Chosen one, let's make one thing clear from the start. What you do is brilliant. Not just smart, not just capable, brilliant. And your courage, it's the kind that most people only dream of finding within themselves. But here's the catch. While many silently admire you, not everyone claps out loud. Why? Because your rise is exposing everything they never had the strength to become. Now imagine this for a moment. Chosen one. You're walking through life with your head down, focused, doing your thing, not chasing applause, not begging for attention. But behind you, there's a line of people watching every step, studying your grace under pressure, taking notes on how you keep rising no matter what's thrown at you. And in that same crowd, there are a few tight faces, forced smiles, and uncomfortable eyes, because your growth reminds them that staying small was a choice they made. And here's a fact that should sit right in your soul. According to behavioral science, people naturally respect those who remain consistent under pressure. The more true you are to yourself, the more they recognize your value, even if they never admit it out loud. That's the quiet power you hold. Your intelligence, your heart, your energy. It's setting off silent alarms in the minds of people who underestimated you. You are the example they never expected to face. And thank you, chosen one. Don't forget to pay this message back by simply pressing the like and subscribe. That small click spreads light to more souls who need these reminders. You're not just watching a message, you are the message. You're part of a movement that's bigger than words. So thank you for being part of this mission, for being part of this force. Now, let's get back to what matters. This journey you're on isn't a lucky streak. It's earned. Your intelligence didn't show up overnight. Your courage wasn't gifted. It was built, layer by layer, through every test, every fall, and every moment you had to rise when no one saw you trying. But the universe saw. The universe always sees. And now, it's rewarding you in ways you don't even fully realize yet. You're making power moves without shouting. You're creating change just by being consistent. And people who once overlooked you are now trying to figure out how you did it. But the truth is, they couldn't do what you did because they didn't carry what you carry. See, chosen one, your brilliance isn't just about what you know. It's about how you see. The way you analyze, the way you feel energy, the way you stay 5 steps ahead without even trying. That's not something that can be copied. It's innate. And that intelligence you carry, it's not just mental, it's intuitive. You move different. You think deeper. You feel stronger. That's why people watch you with admiration, even if they never say it to your face. But with that admiration comes a side effect: intimidation, because your courage to be real makes others question their masks. Your willingness to walk alone makes others realize how loudly they depend on crowds. You're doing something most people are too scared to try. You're becoming who you truly are. And don't think it's gone unnoticed. The universe has been aligning the right people, opportunities, and moments around you, not just to reward you, but to reflect how far you've come. And the people who were meant to witness your growth? They're seeing it now. Some are clapping, some are studying, and some are choking on their own jealousy. But either way, your name is being spoken. Not because you forced it, but because you earned it. This is your confirmation. You are not average, you're not basic, you're not just getting by. You are shining in a way that makes people feel something, and that matters. So when the days feel quiet, when the applause is silent, when the support seems missing, remember this: brilliance doesn't always need a spotlight. It shines anyway, and you, chosen one, are walking proof of that. Your courage, your clarity, your quiet confidence. It's shaking things, and some people love it. Some people fear it, but all of them see it. So keep going. You're not just rising, you're radiating. So, chosen one, are you ready to break it all down piece by piece? Because once you truly understand the power behind your brilliance, the reason why so many admire your courage and intelligence, you'll never question your worth again. Drop a 111 in the comments if you know you carry something rare, something that can't be taught, only felt. And if this message is speaking directly to your soul, consider fueling the mission with a super thanks. Whether it's 1 coin or 100, every bit helps this light reach more eyes, more minds, and more hearts. This isn't just content, it's confirmation. And you being here proves you're in alignment with something greater. Now take a deep breath, because what's coming next, it's going to hit different. And if you really are who we know you are, the true chosen one, you'll feel that pull to stay locked in until the very last word. Let's get into it. Number 1, they tried to fool you, but you were already 3 steps ahead. When the trap is set, but the prey doesn't flinch, that's not luck. That's instinct sharpened by truth. Chosen one, let's be brutally honest. Your mind doesn't move like the average person's. Your heart doesn't fall for every sweet word. And your instincts? They're not just whispers. They're warning sirens disguised as calm thoughts. The people who tried to manipulate you had no idea what they were up against. They thought you were naive, that you'd be easy to deceive. But what they didn't know is that your intuition is a weapon they can't see, can't predict, and definitely can't beat. Imagine this: a spider weaving its web, thinking it's got the perfect trap, only to realize the creature it's waiting for doesn't walk into webs. It burns them. That's you. You weren't just dodging games. You were reading the rule book before they even picked up the dice. They thought they were clever, thought they were in control. But the truth is, you saw through it from the start. Not because someone warned you, but because your inner system doesn't play around. When something's off, you feel it. When someone's lying, your soul catches the glitch before your mind finishes the sentence. That's not paranoia, that's protection. It's what happens when you're aligned with something higher than ego, clarity. Your intuition doesn't explain itself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You've probably had moments where you couldn't explain why someone felt wrong or why you needed to pull back, but you listened, and later the truth always showed up. And while others were shocked, you weren't. You already knew. You'd already emotionally detached before the storm even hit. That's the brilliance of your intuition. It's quiet, but never wrong. And here's what they don't understand. This ability didn't come easy. You weren't born seeing through lies. You earned that discernment through betrayal, through pain, through trusting the wrong people and learning the hard way. Every scar sharpened your senses. Every letdown rewired your system. So now, when someone brings fake energy cloaked in fake love, you don't even flinch. You observe, silently, intelligently, and you move accordingly. They're confused. They don't get why you don't react like you used to, why you don't explain yourself, defend your choices, or beg to be understood. That's because you're not operating from fear anymore. You're operating from knowing. And when you know, you don't chase validation. You walk in truth. Some people think they're good at hiding their intentions. They wear masks so well, even they believe their lies. But here's the part that humbles them. You can read silence better than they can fake words. You catch what's not said. You pick up on tone, energy, body language. You're not just hearing them, you're scanning them. And what they don't know is that every fake smile, every slip of the tongue, every delayed answer is being logged in your mental archive, quietly, patiently, strategically. You don't need to catch them in a lie. Your intuition already sentenced the truth. And it's not just about people. Your gut has led you away from toxic environments, fake opportunities, empty praise. Even when something looked perfect on the surface, something inside you whispered, "Not for you." And you listened. Others might have called it self-sabotage, but you weren't sabotaging your path. You were protecting your purpose. They'll never understand how you keep dodging bullets they carefully aimed, how you keep rising when they swore you'd crumble. It's because while they were studying how to manipulate, you were mastering how to listen to yourself. And that kind of awareness, it's rare, it's powerful, and it's deeply threatening to people who thrive on deception. Now, here's the part that hits hardest. They didn't expect you to know. They didn't expect you to see it. They thought they were playing 4D chess while you were stuck trying to learn checkers. But the whole time, you were the one watching their every move, letting them expose themselves and waiting for the right moment to walk away without making a sound. That's real power. Power without performance. And maybe you're wondering, why me? Why do I have this gift? Why do I sense everything so deeply? Because you were never meant to walk blindly. You were never built to be a follower. You were made to lead, but not just people, yourself. Your intuition is the compass the universe gave you to survive chaos with clarity, to spot danger wrapped in smiles, to avoid destruction dressed up as opportunity. Others may have doubted you, but you never needed their permission to trust yourself. And if you've ever felt like your gift was too heavy, too isolating, just know this: it's only heavy because it carries truth. And most people don't want to hold that. You do. You've already proven that you don't just hear your intuition, you honor it. You don't silence it to fit in. You don't ignore it to feel safe. You follow it, even when it costs you comfort, even when it separates you from the crowd. And that, chosen one, is why your life keeps aligning while theirs keeps falling apart. They thought you were guessing, but you were guided, and now they're the ones playing catch-up. In a game you already won. Number 2. Your confidence is a strategy. And it's terrifying the ones who never had the courage to try. The moves you're making aren't noise, they're signals, and those who can't decode your silence are panicking behind your back. Chosen one, let's make it plain. What you're doing right now isn't survival, it's strategy. Every step you take, every room you walk into, every boundary you set, every opportunity you choose to chase. It's not a flinch, it's a calculated move. And the people watching, they're not confused, they're threatened, because they've built their comfort zones on your silence. And now that you're moving with purpose, their illusions are falling apart. They're whispering, who do they think they are? Here's the answer. You're someone who finally realized exactly who you've always been. You stopped explaining yourself, not because you gave up, but because you leveled up. Imagine this, a chessboard. You've been sitting on it for years, boxed in by expectations, gaslighted into playing small, but now you've stopped reacting to their pawns. You've started moving like a queen, like a king, purposeful, precise. You no longer explain every move. You don't flinch when others don't get it. You know what you're doing. And that's what terrifies them. Not the action itself, but your confidence in the face of their confusion. They've grown used to people second-guessing themselves, apologizing for taking up space, shrinking to keep the peace. But you've outgrown that version of you, and now your silence screams, your detachment echoes, and your refusal to chase people who never respected you, that's a move they never saw coming. You don't beg for seats at tables you were meant to build. You're stepping into rooms that once felt impossible. Dreams that once sounded too big are now your daily reality. And let's be honest, it's making people uncomfortable because your self-worth doesn't need validation anymore. You're not asking for permission to rise. You're rising, loudly, quietly, steadily. And the people who lack your courage, they can't take it. They ask themselves, how are you doing this? Who helped you? What changed? The truth, you changed. You finally bet on yourself. You finally stopped dimming your light for people who never offered a spark. You finally realized that your value doesn't come from being needed. It comes from being aligned. When you stop begging for respect, the right people start giving it freely. And here's the part that really hits them. You're not even doing it for show. You're not broadcasting every win. You're not looking for applause. You're focused, calm, strategic. And that quiet power? It's magnetic. You're not just attractive, you're undeniable. And people feel that shift, even if they don't have the words for it. The ones who used to overlook you are now side-eyeing their own insecurities, because watching you move is confronting. Watching you heal, grow, level up, it forces them to face the fact that they've been sitting still. You became the mirror they didn't ask for, the reminder of what they could have become if they had the courage to choose themselves. Imagine this, a mountain that used to be background noise, suddenly growing larger with every step you take. That's how you're appearing in people's lives now. You're no longer a footnote in someone else's story. You're the main plot. And your story isn't just inspiring, it's challenging. Because you didn't get here by luck. You got here by decisions, by choosing yourself over and over, even when it hurt. Some will celebrate you, some will copy you, and others, they'll try to sabotage what they can't understand. Because to them, your elevation feels like a threat, not because you did anything wrong, but because you've stopped needing them to feel right. And you may ask yourself, why does my confidence bother people who don't even know me deeply? It's simple, because it exposes the parts of them that never evolved. You became proof that healing works and that terrifies the people still pretending they're not broken. Your confidence, your strategy, your movement, it's not noise, it's a frequency, and only those aligned with truth can vibe with it. The rest? They'll call you arrogant, cold, difficult, but what they really mean is you no longer bend to make others comfortable. And that's their discomfort, not your problem. You're building in silence. You're becoming in power, and while others are still playing the same games, you've mastered the board. You're no longer triggered by small things. You don't chase love, opportunities, or attention. You attract. And you don't do it with noise. You do it with alignment. So yes, chosen one, your moves are scaring people, but not because they're reckless, because they're focused, because they're firm, because they signal that you finally believe in yourself. And that kind of belief, it can't be stopped. It doesn't need an audience. It only needs momentum. Let them whisper, let them guess, let them sit in confusion while you step into clarity. Because your brilliance isn't loud, it's lethal, and that's exactly why they're watching so closely. Number 3, you stopped carrying dead weight. Now they're mad you can finally fly. They loved you when you were carrying their mess. Now they resent you for finally cleaning up your own. Chosen one, let's speak the truth with no filter. You were never weak for caring too much. Your strength just got misused. For too long, you carried emotional weight that didn't belong to you. You played healer, fixer, peacekeeper, while they played helpless, broken, and entitled. But now you've dropped the bags, and the energy around you has shifted so hard, it's rattling those who depended on your exhaustion to feel powerful. You see, energy thieves don't ask for permission. They attach silently, through guilt, through pity, through manipulation dressed up as love. And for a while you thought helping them meant you were strong. But what you were really doing was bleeding for people who wouldn't even offer you a bandage. You weren't too sensitive, you were too available, and that kindness became their playground. But something in you snapped. You woke up. You turned the energy inward. You began to pour into yourself, and suddenly your glow came back. Your mind got clearer. Your space got lighter. And what happened next? The same people who once drained, you started falling away, not because you cut them off, but because they could no longer feed off the healed version of you. Now they call you selfish, cold, distant. But they're not angry because you changed. They're angry because you stopped sacrificing your peace for their comfort. And here's what the universe is showing you. Your empathy isn't a weakness, it's a magnet. And now that it's protected, authentic people are showing up. They see your sensitivity as a rare gift, not something to exploit, but something to honor. You're not attracting parasites anymore. You're attracting power, respect, real ones, people who don't just take, they match your energy. You stopped explaining your piece, and now you're finally surrounded by people who don't ask you to. So let them talk. Let the ones who once leaned on your exhaustion now learn to walk without you. Because shedding their weight wasn't loss, it was liberation. And now, you're flying light, glowing hard, and walking in the kind of peace they'll never steal again. Number 4. They couldn't control you, so they tried to destroy you. The moment you stopped being easy to use, they started calling you difficult to love. Chosen one, your growth didn't just disappoint them, it infuriated them. Not because you hurt them, but because you stopped letting them drain you without consequence. You pulled your energy back. You said, enough. And suddenly, the very people who smiled in your face started showing their true energy. And what did it reveal? Entitlement, arrogance, weakness disguised as love. They weren't angry because you changed. They were angry because you woke up. You stopped being their emotional crutch. You stopped sacrificing your peace to keep their chaos intact. And when people feel entitled to your light, your boundaries feel like betrayal. They never wanted you healed. They just wanted you available. Now look, some of them didn't just get mad. They got petty, sneaky, sabotage level calculated, silent attacks, fake support, shady moves behind the scenes. They tried to slow you down because they couldn't stand watching you elevate without them. But here's the plot twist. Every move they made to block you ended up boosting you. The universe doesn't play about protected energy. Their attempts became your accelerators. Imagine this, a slingshot. They pulled back, thinking it would hurt you, but the moment they let go, you launched further than they ever imagined. And here's the truth most people don't want to admit. They didn't hate you until you stopped needing them. Your glow became offensive, your clarity became a threat, and your success, a mirror they couldn't avoid. Because it forced them to see how much they didn't grow while trying to hold you back. Your growth exposed their stagnation, and instead of rising with you, they tried to keep you stuck with them. Let them be mad. Let them throw shadows. You didn't cut them off for nothing. You did it to survive, to rise, and you did. Now they're choking on their own bitterness while you walk in peace, confidence, and elevation. Every attack they launched was just another brick in the road that led you higher. You never owed them access to your energy, and now they know they lost the best thing that ever tolerated them. And you're too far ahead to even look back. Number 5. You woke up, and now fake energy can't stand to breathe around you. When your eyes open, the room doesn't change. You just start noticing who doesn't belong in it. Chosen one, this isn't just about boundaries anymore. You've entered a deeper layer, an awakening that has nothing to do with hype and everything to do with clarity. You're not guessing your way through life now. You're seeing things as they are, not as you once hoped they'd be, and that kind of truth changes everything. What used to feel normal now feels heavy. Lies that once slid by unnoticed now sting like static in your energy. Pretenders feel loud. Forced vibes drain you faster. Why? Because your frequency has shifted, and you're no longer compatible with what doesn't come from truth. You're not being sensitive, you're being synced. Imagine this. Walking through a fog your whole life, and suddenly the sky clears. You don't just see things, you feel what's off, what's right, what's aligned. Conversations begin to carry hidden messages. People enter your life at the exact moment you need them. Thoughts you once dismissed now come true like clockwork. That's not coincidence, that's synchronicity. You've become a magnet for truth. Your energy filters what words cannot. Those operating from integrity are drawn to you without even knowing why. They just feel safe, seen, understood. And those who come with performance, they get uncomfortable, restless, exposed, because they can't lie where your energy demands truth. You're not chasing clarity anymore. It's chasing you because your spirit finally stopped settling for confusion. And here's the thing, this awakening isn't loud. It's not dramatic. It's not for show. It's quiet, internal, life-changing. You feel more connected to the right people, the right paths, the right moments, and the ones who no longer align. You don't even have to force them out. Your vibration does the work. You're walking differently now, speaking with more precision, protecting your energy like it's currency, because it is. The universe is speaking to you through signs, timing, and truth. You've tapped into something real, and now anything fake starts falling away by itself. Number 6. You broke the cycle. Now they're watching what they couldn't control heal without them. It wasn't just your pain you were healing, it was generations of silence finally choosing to speak through you. Chosen one, this journey you're on isn't just about your own peace, it's about the patterns you refuse to pass on. You didn't just stop people-pleasing, you stopped generations of guilt. You didn't just walk away from codependency, you walked away from emotional slavery that was normalized for decades. And because of that, you've changed the energy around you permanently. People may not say it, but they feel it. Your refusal to shrink, to beg, to explain your worth, that shift created shockwaves. The version of you they were used to, the one who overgave, over-apologized, and overextended, is gone. And in its place is someone whole, unshaken, clear. You weren't being dramatic. You were being the one who finally said, "This ends with me." Imagine a dam holding back generations of repressed pain, guilt, and pressure, and you, chosen one, standing in front of it, choosing not to let it break you, but to rebuild it differently. That's what healing generational patterns looks like. It's invisible to some, but life-changing to everything connected to you. The moment you stopped leaking energy to the wrong people, your life started flowing. Peace found its way in. Real opportunities started showing up. Not forced, not begged for, just naturally attracted to your new vibration. That's what happens when you stop handing out access to people who never earned your energy in the first place. And let's talk about those who've faded, the ones who only showed up when you were easy to use, the ones who clapped for you quietly but celebrated others loudly. They're gone now, not because you pushed them away, but because your healed energy no longer entertains fake support. True supporters don't shrink when you shine, they expand with you. Your healing made room for real ones, people who match your effort, who pour back, who recognize the soul work you've done and don't fear your growth. They respect it. This isn't just your glow-up. This is generational redemption, done through your courage in real time. Number 7. They tried to dim you. Now you're the one everyone looks to for light. Real leadership doesn't shout. It shifts energy just by entering the room. Chosen one, let's be clear. You never needed a title to lead. You didn't rise by force. You rose through clarity, through consistency, through choosing growth when it was easier to stay broken. And now, a quiet, unshakable leadership is rising in you. One rooted not in ego, but in integrity. One that doesn't demand attention, but commands it. You're not the loudest, you're not the flashiest, but people feel safer around you, stronger, more grounded. That's not an accident. That's energy leading the room before you even speak. Leadership isn't about being above others. It's about being so aligned that others rise by being near you. Remember the ones who tried to shrink you, who mocked your voice, doubted your moves, dismissed your potential. They thought you were too soft, too kind, too quiet. But what they didn't understand is that you were just building depth. Now you're the one others seek out for guidance, perspective, peace. You became the anchor, not through dominance, but through direction. Imagine a lighthouse in a storm. It doesn't move. It doesn't chase ships. It just stands in truth and shines. That's what you've become. And people are noticing, even the ones who once tried to tear you down. They can't deny your influence now. You didn't argue for it. You embodied it. And that's what stings the most for them. Your elevation didn't come from competition. It came from alignment. You became what they were trying to fake, and now they're watching from the sidelines, speechless. You didn't ask to be followed. You just chose to walk in truth. But in doing that, you became the example. Not because you were perfect, but because you kept going. You kept healing. And that quiet evolution, it created a magnetic pull that no one can copy. So keep rising, not with noise, but with impact, because your leadership is the kind that lasts. And now, even your enemies have to admit, they see you differently now. Number 8. You outgrew the room. Now they're uncomfortable with your wings. When you stop shrinking to fit the room will either expand or expose who never wanted you to grow. Chosen one, you didn't just leave people behind, you left entire versions of yourself behind. Environments that once felt like home now feel tight, fake, heavy. Why? Because you've outgrown them. Mentally, emotionally, energetically. What once felt like forever was never meant to hold your next level. It was just a classroom, and graduation day has come. Some people don't like that. Your peace now makes them restless. Your distance makes them offended. But they're not mad at your growth. They're mad that they can't keep you in the box they built for you. You stopped being easy to manage the moment you became impossible to limit. Imagine a butterfly trying to return to its cocoon. Impossible, right? That's you. There's no going back. You've seen too much, grown too far. The spaces that once tolerated your smallness now feel like cages, and every attempt to keep you there through guilt, manipulation, or sabotage only proves how threatening your transformation really is. Because they didn't expect you to break free, they thought your loyalty would keep you stuck, but you chose evolution over comfort, and now the universe is responding. Opportunities that once felt distant are now opening without you even forcing them. Doors are unlocking, blockages are crumbling, not because of luck, but because you finally made room for alignment. Sometimes the universe delays your blessing until you leave the room it won't fit inside. And let's be real, walking away wasn't easy. You cared, you stayed too long, you gave too much, but your soul got louder, and when it did, you listened. Now, every step away from those limiting spaces is a step toward freedom, toward clarity, toward the life they once convinced you was too much to ask for. Let them call you distant, changed, different, because you are, and you're not going back. You didn't walk away from them, you walked toward yourself. You didn't lose a home, you found your wings. And now, the sky's not the limit, it's just the beginning. Number 9. They thought failure would break you, but it built a version they can't compete with. You didn't bounce back. You rebuilt, wiser, sharper, and untouchable. Chosen one, failure doesn't hit the same anymore, not because you don't feel pain, but because you stopped fearing it. You've lived through the storm, wiped your own tears, stitched your soul back together in silence, and came out stronger. Setbacks that once shook you now shape you. Disappointments that used to stop you now redirect you. You stopped calling it failure. You started calling it feedback. What they don't understand is this: every L you took didn't lower your worth. It leveled up your awareness. You no longer beg life to go easy on you. You read every detour. You study every delay. Because now you know it's not punishment, it's positioning. Imagine a GPS rerouting, not because you're lost, but because there's something better ahead that you can't see yet. That's how you've come to see failure, not the end, just the edit. And now, that kind of emotional resilience, it glows, it radiates, it draws in real ones, people who respect your strength, not just your shine. You're no longer attracting connections that depend on your success to stay. You're pulling in people who love your depth, your bounce back, your truth. Confidence built on wins is shaky. Confidence built on survival, that's real. Your unshakable energy is scaring people who only feel strong when everything goes their way. They can't figure out why you're still standing, still focused, still moving forward. But the truth is, you've already faced what they still run from, your own shadows. And instead of hiding them, you faced them, sat with them, grew through them. And now, they can't shake what they didn't build. This is why your presence feels heavy, in the best way, why your name carries weight, because people sense it. You've earned your resilience. You didn't skip the process. You bled for this confidence. And now, life is matching your energy with alignment, with people who see you, with doors that open for who you really are, not just who you pretend to be. So let them wonder how you keep rising. You're not lucky, you're rebuilt, and nothing shakes a soul that's already been through the fire and came out shining. Number 10. You see through people too fast. That's why they fear your presence. They didn't lose control of you. They lost the illusion that they ever had it in the first place. Chosen one, your discernment has become razor sharp. What used to take you weeks, months, or years to figure out, you now catch in a moment. the tone in their voice, the energy behind their words, the shift in their body language. You don't just hear people, you read them, and for those who planned to manipulate, control, or deceive you, that kind of vision is their worst nightmare. Your clarity is confrontation for those still hiding behind performance. You've stopped giving the benefit of the doubt to energy that feels off. You no longer waste time trying to justify someone's bad behavior just because you see their potential. You've learned the hard way. Potential doesn't mean purpose. And now, if the vibe's not right, you move. No drama, no announcement, just distance, and that distance is your protection. Imagine walking into a room with invisible radar. The moment someone's energy doesn't match their words, you feel it. That's you now. You've developed spiritual instincts that don't wait for proof. They are the proof. That's not paranoia. That's intelligence born from scars and shaped by survival. And yes, it bothers people because they can't lie to you the way they lie to others. They can't wear the mask around you for long. Your presence demands authenticity, and those living in manipulation feel exposed in your light. You used to doubt your gut. Now it's your most trusted weapon. You're not cold. You're protected. You're not guarded. You're wise. The peace you carry is a result of choosing truth, even when it hurt. And now the universe surrounds you like armor. You are watched, backed, and covered by unseen support that doesn't play when it comes to your mission. Those who tried to harm you or block you, they're being handled, not by your hands, but by a system that doesn't miss. Because when your heart is clean, your purpose protected, and your intention pure, no weapon formed can prosper. So keep trusting your inner alarm. Keep cutting ties that drain your power. You're not losing people. You're losing access to threats. And every time you trust that knowing, you step deeper into your destiny, undistracted and untouched. Number 11. They called you too much, but you were just too clear for their chaos. Raising your standards doesn't make you difficult. It makes you unavailable to anything unworthy. Chosen one, let's get one thing straight. Your standards are not the problem. They never were. What's really happening is this. The people who once had easy access to your energy are now choking on the distance. Because when you stopped lowering the bar to accommodate their bare minimum, you became unreachable to everything fake, flaky, and fragile. You're not asking for too much. You're just no longer asking from the wrong places. Your no now echoes louder than your old people-pleasing yes ever did. You've stopped tolerating disrespect disguised as love, attention wrapped in manipulation, and company that drains more than it pours. That's not ego, that's evolution. You didn't become colder, you became clearer on what your peace is worth. Imagine this, a high-frequency radio station. You used to let anyone tune in, even if they brought static. Now, only those who match your signal get access. That's what your new standards are doing. They're filtering the noise. And as you raise the bar, you're attracting your real tribe. People who don't flinch at your boundaries. People who see your value without needing a discount. People who don't get scared when you say no. They respect you more because of it. Your transformation is loud, even in silence. It's making people think. Some are inspired, some are intimidated, but all of them are being forced to look at themselves because your glow is exposing their shadows. And your refusal to shrink is permission for others to finally expand. You're not here to be palatable, you're here to be powerful. And yes, the circle is smaller now, but it's stronger. It's real. The fake ones fell off when they realized they couldn't manipulate the new you. The ones who stayed, they're mirrors of the love and truth you now walk in. This is what alignment looks like, a life built around truth, not tolerance. So keep that standard high, keep that door locked to chaos. You're not hard to love, you're hard to play. And now, only the real ones get in. Number 12. You move like you've been here before, because 1,000 souls walk with you. They don't understand how you know what you know, but your bloodline does. Chosen one, there's a reason your presence feels heavy, even in silence. A reason why your decisions cut through confusion, why your words carry weight, why you can feel the truth in a room full of lies. You're not just wise, you're woven with the wisdom of those who came before you. Healers, protectors, leaders, survivors. Their energy flows through you like a current, shaping your instincts, sharpening your discernment, and grounding your voice in something timeless. You don't just think differently, you move with purpose, with stillness, with eyes that have seen beyond this moment. And that intimidates people who live only on the surface, who chase noise while you walk in quiet knowing. They can't understand how you're always steps ahead, how you spot deception before it forms, how you speak truth that lands deep. You carry knowledge not learned in books because it was born in your bones. Imagine this, walking through a storm but never getting lost, not because you can see the sun, but because you remember the path. That's your energy. That's ancestral alignment. You've inherited more than DNA. You've inherited direction. You're not reacting, you're responding with precision passed down through generations. And no, you don't always have the words to explain it, because how do you explain the instinct to walk away when something looks perfect but feels wrong? How do you explain knowing things without evidence? You can't, but you feel it. And that feeling? That's ancient intelligence doing its work. You're not wise beyond your years. You're wise beyond this life. You don't follow trends. You create your own rhythm. You don't cling to chaos. You sense when energy shifts and exit with grace. You don't demand power. You embody it. That's why others look to you when everything falls apart. You bring clarity. You bring calm. You bring truth without needing a spotlight. This is the gift, and it comes with responsibility. You're here to break illusions, guide others by example, and build a future that your ancestors only dreamed of. So trust your knowing, even when it makes no sense to others. You're not lost, you're remembering, and your every move, it's legacy in motion. Number 13, you didn't chase influence. You became the frequency that others follow. Real power isn't loud, it's magnetic. And now awakened souls are finding you because your truth speaks louder than their fears. Chosen one, your energy is different now. It doesn't just impact people close to you, it ripples outward, reaching souls you've never met, guiding minds you didn't even know were watching. You've become a beacon, not by force, not by show, but by alignment. Your journey, your healing, your quiet consistency, that's what's drawing people in. You didn't become influential by chasing attention. You became influential by choosing authenticity in a world addicted to pretending. And now, awakened souls, those who crave truth, depth, and evolution, are feeling your frequency and recognizing something familiar in it. Not ego, not noise, but clarity, integrity, realness. You became the signal for people trying to escape the noise. Imagine a lighthouse at the edge of a dark sea. It doesn't move, it doesn't shout, it just stays lit. And because of that, people in the storm find direction. That's you. Your growth has become a compass. Your story has become a map. And without even trying, you're activating people to rise, to reflect, to evolve, just by being who you really are. They're not just drawn to your image, they're drawn to your energy because you've done the work, and it shows. You've evolved past validation, past performance, past the need to fit into shallow rooms, and now only the aligned can reach you. That's why your circle is changing. That's why collaborations are forming with people who see you, not for what you offer, but for who you are. You're not seeking a platform. You are the platform where truth is lived, not just spoken. Your presence speaks before you do, and those operating from soul, not ego, can feel it instantly. They know you're not here to compete. You're here to connect, to build, to guide. Your life and work are now portals for conscious creation, for meaningful impact, for energy that doesn't just impress, it transforms. You've become proof that authenticity is influence, that healing is power, that evolution isn't a trend, it's a responsibility. And now the ones who've done the work are finding you, joining you, and rising with you. Because you didn't just become successful, you became a signal, and awakened souls don't need directions. They follow the light. And so, chosen one, as you continue to rise in truth, power, and purpose, remember this: your light was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to lead. You didn't come this far by accident. Every shift, every cutoff, every breakthrough has positioned you to become exactly who you were always meant to be. Keep moving forward with confidence. Your presence is a message, and the right ones are hearing it loud and clear. If this message spoke to your soul, drop the number 777 in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, and share with someone who needs this reminder. Your light is contagious. Let's spread it.